Do you want to hear my top 10 from 2025? Well, you've come to the right place. Hello there, fellow book lovers. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Linnea, and yeah, this is gonna be my top 10 books of 2025. Let's do it. Okay, so there's not gonna be any kind of order. I might save something for last, but I wouldn't know how to rate. But we're going to start with a reread, and that is The Long Walk by Stephen King. Now, I wasn't sure if I was gonna include rereads or not, but yeah, I'm gonna. This is one of my favorite Stephen King books so far. I really love this book. I made a book to screen watching the new movie as well, and even though I love this, I have to say that I think the movie was even better. It fixed some of the issues that I have with this, and the acting was just incredible. Now we follow Ray Garrity, who is going to compete in what's called The Long Walk. It's a yearly competition where 100 young men walk until there's only one left. You're only allowed to walk over a certain speed. If you fall back under the speed limit, you're going to get a warning. You get 3 warnings, and then you get your ticket out of life. We see these men as their body and minds break down and how they build bonds between each other. And it's just, when I first read this book, I was not prepared, and it stayed with me for a long time, and the movie will as well. I just broke down again rereading this. It's so good. If you haven't read it, or if you haven't seen the movie, I would recommend you do it, but also be prepared. Second is my first 5-star of 2025, which is The Curious Incident of the Dog in the Nighttime, where we follow Christopher, who has Asperger's syndrome. He finds their neighbor's dog murdered and decides to try and solve the mystery because he's got a little bit of a detective thing going. Now, this is a decision that will turn his world upside down. I was familiar with the story before. I've seen a play on this, and it's really interesting how the author depicts how Christopher's mind works, and we really get to follow along in his thought process and how he functions within the story. And I just love it so much. Okay, so we have 2 books here because when I was putting together this list, I was like, okay, so I've got 9 books. I have to pick a 10th, and I really had a hard time picking between these 2, Jurassic Park by Michael Crichton and Cujo by Stephen King. And I mean, this wasn't my best Stephen King year, The Long Walk aside. This did surprise me, but I think I'm gonna go with Jurassic Park because I had so much fun reading this book. It is pretty similar to the movie, differs in some ways. The structure of the story is really interesting, talking about, yeah, like if we can, should we? And it's nice reading like a adventure, a little bit of horror story with like a little bit of depth to it. Yeah, and I really would like to read the second book as well. Then we've got this poetry collection. It's a Swedish one by Bob Hansson called Kan vi inte vara snälla nu för sen dör vi faktiskt. Now, I don't read a lot of poetry. I've read like some collections of, like, you know, one of these collections where it's like all the poetry that the author has ever written. This was different, reading something that felt very cohesive, like it was meant to go together like this. Because when you get the whole like life work of someone, it's like it's so much and it's so in all kinds of directions. This felt also really contemporary and gave me a lot of thought. I liked it very much. We're gonna take a break from the pile because I have some books I don't have my physical copy of or that I lent from the library. One of them is Piranesi by Susanna Clarke, and Piranesi was unlike anything that I've ever read, I think. It was a magical reading experience. I can be a little impatient sometimes, I think, in terms of I kind of want to know a little bit, like the structure of the story or where it's going, like just have an idea. And I was a bit scared going into this book because people were just like, oh, you have to just go along for the ride and it's part of the mystery, just being in this house. And I was like, am I really gonna enjoy this? But I really did. And it was fantastic. But it also makes it hard to talk about this book because I want people to go in knowing as little as possible, because it actually really is part of the experience reading that book. Yeah, so I'm just gonna leave it at that. Then we're also gonna jump in with Minns du den stad, or Remember the City, by Anders Fogelström. Now this is part of a series called the Stockholm series, or in Swedish I think it's just Stad-serien, something like that. Now this is a series spanning over generations for, I think it's like 110 years. In the first book we follow Henning as he comes to Stockholm trying to find work and build a new life for himself. He's trying to get work, finds friends, falls in love, and then later on in the other books we follow his children and grandchildren and so on. And it's just, we see these people move through the city, living their lives, and at the same time we see the city grow and things changing, workers having more to say, more rights, and it's just a very interesting story. And I don't really know what it is that grabs me so much. Nothing really like happens, you know, there of course things happen, but it's like I'm so invested in these people's lives and destinies, and it's so good. Okay, let's move on to some romantasy, because there's 3 romantasies left and then something else. Tusk Love by Thea Guanzon. You know when a book is good, but it's also just like right what you need at that exact moment, and this was that for me. I loved Oscar and Guinevere. Love their character and character development. So Guinevere is going across the country to marry up for the sake of her family, and is set on by bandits and gets rescued by this grumpy half-orc Oscar, who reluctantly agrees to take her on the rest of the journey. It's grumpy meets sunshine, and it's forced journey, and it's lovely characters, and I really, really enjoyed this. It was, Then we have The Knight and The Moth by Rachel Gillig. Again, like these characters I just fell in love with. I love their dynamic. There's interesting lore and a beautifully written world. The only thing I want to say like against this book is that her other series, The Shepherd King, they also have to like go around and collect items, and it's a little bit the same here. And it just reminded me like a little too much of the other magic system. And hey, I still really enjoyed this book. Sybil is a diviner and she has visions about the future. People come from all over to see her. And then one day she realizes that everything she knows might not be the way that she thought it was. This is a bit quest-like. They're going on a journey. The main character is trying to figure out who she is and where she fits in this world. Now we have Mouse by Art Spiegelman. Now this book is a lot of things. It's autobiographical. It's also a graphic novel. And Art also tells the story about his father living through the Holocaust. He has a complicated relationship with his father, and he's trying to come to terms with their relationship through his father's story. Mouse memorializes Spiegelman's father's experience of the Holocaust. It follows his story frame by frame, from youth and marriage in pre-war Poland to imprisonment in Auschwitz. It's just, oh, it's hard to express. It's gonna stay with me for a long time. Okay, let's move on to the last book on the list, and that is Fourth Wing. Now, I've saved this for last because I think that this series might have dominated 2025 for me. I started reading it like in spring, I think, last year as a buddy read with a friend, and we got pretty obsessed is maybe an understatement. But like, I've had so much fun with these books last year, and I'm rereading this now. I just love when you get that little obsession and you like deep dive into all the theories and all the, I had so much fun. It's just, and if you don't know what this is, it's Dragon Riders. Yeah, check it out. Okay, I think that was 10. Hopefully that was 10, plus a little extra with Cujo, but like, yeah, I think that was 10. I don't know if it's telling in this list or not, but I kind of like have an all over kind of feel when I'm reading and picking books. Like, I do love fantasy, historical fiction, and I think romance were my biggest genres last year, but like, I just enjoy very, very much reading from all kinds of genres. If you haven't checked it out yet, I just started a genre project on my channel where I've assigned a genre to every month, and I'm going to read one book from that genre and discuss both the genre and the book. My first one was coming of age, and I read The Catcher in the Rye, the video is up on my channel now. I'm so excited to see what 2026 will bring in terms of how that list will look in a year. But yeah, let me know what some of your favorite books were from 2025. Very curious to know. And please like and subscribe. It would really help me out. Yeah, I'm just so happy that you're here. Happy reading, everyone. See you in the next one.